Hey folks, Jim here, producer of Around the House Show. You're loving the audio tips right now, but here's something new. Our full-length episodes and expert interviews are now on YouTube as video, so you can watch the demos, tool close-ups, and guest interviews, or just hit play and listen like a regular podcast. Just search Around the House Show on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button, and turn on notifications. It's free, and you'll get the best of both worlds, visual how-tos when you want them, audio when you're on the go. Don't forget to subscribe on your podcast app too. Thanks. And now back to the show.
Welcome to Around the House with Eric G. It is Saturday, and it is time for us to talk home improvement, just like we do every Saturday from noon to 2 here. And guess what? It is a glorious, nice afternoon here. I don't care if you're in Bend, Tri-Cities, Klamath Falls, anywhere out there here in the Northwest, just listening to us all over the Radio Northwest Network. It is a wonderful day outside. So we could use a little bit of good weather, and here it is. So that means we're all taking on projects, I bet, today out there, because you cannot waste away days like this because they are so nice. Well, I want to get your calls today because we're going to talk about a bunch of fun stuff today. 877-733-1011. That's 877-733-1011. And if you're too shy, that's okay. You can email me at ath@kxl.com. And make sure you like the Facebook page because there is content going up there all week long, and that's Around the House with Eric G. So you can go on there and search that. Comes up really quickly, and you can't miss the other part of the show that happens all week long on there. Well, today I want to dive into plumbing. Everybody's got plumbing issues out there, and if you don't, you probably do and just don't even know you got it. So we're going to talk all about plumbing stuff today, and we're going to take your calls. So even if you want to call in about a fence repair, or you've got a lighting issue, or a heating air conditioning question, or what am I going to do with my backyard, I don't care. You can call in at 877-733-1011. Well, it's kind of funny. I was thinking about plumbing, which we've been talking about here, and so many people don't realize the different kinds of plumbing out there. Like, I've got a newer house, and I'll be honest, with the plumbing system that they put in my 90s house, I wish I had a house that was 10 years older because I would have had a better plumbing system in it. I have the CPVC, which is the yellow plastic PVC pipe in my house, and it is junk. And I will say junk with a capital J. If you looked on the Facebook page, you saw the video of me in my crawl space taking a picture of the geyser that was in my crawl space. And I tell you what, my buddy Wes is sitting in the studio here. We had the same problem with his house in Tigard when he lived there. We were working on his bathroom, and we were putting some flooring in, and I turned the valve off, walked around the corner, and the valve goes poosh as the pipe breaks and launches the valve across the floor. So this stuff is super brittle. Now, how brittle is it? And this is why I don't like using this stuff, because there's so many better products out there. This stuff is so brittle that when I had some guys doing some repair work from the previous pipe break in my crawl space, the insulating guys were down there putting insulation in, and they were putting insulation up in the hole, and they broke a pipe. This stuff you can just about stare at, and it breaks. So lots of lawsuits, things like that with the product out there. And my problem at my house is I just end up having pinhole leaks and cracks that'll happen in the pipe all over the place. So that's a problem with that. Now, that is one type of plastic pipe. Now, there are other new plastic pipes out there like PEX and things like that, which are definitely the way to go when you're talking plumbing. You know, if you've got galvanized is a galvanized steel. The problem with that is that with water is when it starts to fail, it gets to be a smaller opening and a smaller opening on the inside of it. So it's hard to say sometimes from the outside, see what's going on with it. But you'll notice it because you'll go to run a tub for the kids or something, and you turn the bathtub on, and you'll see a bunch of rust come running out. And that usually means that you've lost the galvanized from the inside. And as that pipe fails, it just gets smaller. So you go to turn the shower on, and you're like, man, I've got no water coming out of the shower. And it ends up being a flow problem with that. So that's one of the things when you're thinking about pipe and what you've got going on in your house. I've always seen that it seems that the closer you get to the water heater on that, because of the hot water coming out of the hot water heater, that's also hard on that galvanized pipe. So if you have galvanized pipe in your house, it's one of those things that's not a bad idea to start replacing that as a DIY project. And you can actually do some of this stuff as DIY or have a plumbing company in and repipe it. But I love doing repairs with the PEX pipe because it's flexible. If it freezes, it doesn't split open on the side. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with it, and it's a pipe that has its own. It's flexible, but it has memory to it, so it's a great pipe. And if you've seen them use the compression tools and stretching tools that they have, when you watch a plumber do it, they will shove the cut end of a pipe into this tool and expands it out. You can put your fitting into it, and then it shrinks back down around the outside, which is great. And so it's super easy to use as an installation stuff. And of course, there's like anything, rules to use with that and rules to follow. But it's one of those things that with plumbing pipe, be careful with what you do. I mean, you literally can walk into a big box retailer and buy that CPVC pipe right off the shelf and do a quick repair with it. The problem is that what they've seen out there is that if that pipe has been stored and the fittings have been stored outside, it breaks down really easy to UV rays and becomes brittle. So what has happened in the past is if your house was built with it and the plumbing guy delivered all the pipe outside and it's sitting outside for a week or two outside and the sun breaks it down, it becomes brittle. And then you've got this type of problem. So I want to help you with all your plumbing problems today at 877-733-1011. 877-733-1011. And, of course, later on the show, we're going to be talking about water heaters. We're going to be talking about outside sprinkler systems. And we are going to get into what I promise I always do when we time chain like this with the daylight savings time, is we're going to talk about smoke detectors and how to do that, change it, and what happens if maybe don't have the ability to do it yourself. Who can you call that will come do it for you and for free because they want to keep you safe? So that's another thing we'll be talking up a little bit later on in the show about that, because these are things that it's a big deal, and I want to keep more people safe. It's one of those things that drives me insane when I watch the news, because you'll see it and they're like, well, there are no smoke detectors in the house, or the kid fell out of the window because the window was open and there weren't any locks on it. These are things that we can so easily prevent for 10 or 15 bucks. And if we can do a better job of that, of reminding our friends, family, neighbors to just stay on top of this stuff, we're going to be in a lot better place. So, when you're out there doing repairs on plumbing like this, you got to be a little bit careful, because you can go to the home improvement store, plumbing store, and get the SharkBite fittings, which work really well on things. But here's the problem you got to run into with the CPVC pipe. It might be rated for it, but you do run into problems with that stuff splitting. So you can actually go through and cut it. And when you cut it, it'll actually create some micro cracks in there. So, hey, let's run out here real quick before we go to break to Valerie in Milwaukee. Welcome to Around the House. Valerie, are you there?
Oh, I'm in Malala. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Welcome to Around the House.
I have a septic tank. I live out in Malala. We're really rural, and
Okay.
I have 4 foster kids right now.
Okay.
So we're using a lot of water and stuff. Last month, I had my septic tank pumped
Okay.
because the water was backing up in the toilets and showers and stuff. And now it's still doing the same thing.
I would have a company come out and take a look and see what's going on with your drain field, because if you pumped that thing out and if your drain field's plugged, or you've got some kind of a plug in there, that's going to keep the water. All you're doing is going to fill that septic tank up, and it's going to have no place to go.
Do you have anybody you can recommend? Because I don't.
I do. If you want to go ahead and email me at ATH@KXL, it's a small company. I'm not going to give them out on air, but if you want to send me an email to ATH@KXL, I'll get you lined up with them.
Okay. Because, being a foster parent is not really, you don't make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Nope. And I bet you got your hands full. Well, Valerie, I got to run into break. Thanks, of course, for listening to Around the House. When we come back, we're going to be taking all your calls about plumbing, anything else like that, anything around the house, just as soon as Around the House returns.
much I miss my wife. It's lonely out of space on such a timeless flight.
Welcome back to Around the House with Eric G. A little bit of Rocket Man going on here. It's my one little politically correct song that I play out there. It's a good time. Welcome back to Around the House, because we're talking home improvement today, and we're talking plumbing. So around your phone calls, and your phone calls can be whatever they want to be around the house. And to bring you into the show, that number is 877-733-1011. That's 877-733-1011. We want to talk plumbing today around these phone calls because it's such a hot item that we haven't really spent a lot of time on recently. So I thought, it's a good time to wrap around that. So we're going to dive into potty talk. Bob and I used to always joke about that. So that's a little throwback to Bob, which I am going to bring on the show this spring. So not this month, but maybe next month, we might have a special show we put together. So stay tuned for details on a little old school reunion for that one there. Well, here's the thing with toilets out there. Rule number one, you get what you pay for. And when you get what you pay for, the thing is, if you go out and buy the $79 toilet that you get at the home center, then you're going to get what you pay for, and you might as well just go buy a plunger with it, because you're going to have some serious problems. And that's what I mean by get what you pay for. There are so many things out there that when you go out and spend money, it doesn't really matter. I'm buying this, I'm buying that. It doesn't really matter. But I tell you what, with toilets, there's a lot of engineering from when they turned around and had to make that change from your 3.5 gallon to your 1.6 gallon toilet. Now you can buy 1 gallon toilets that work really, really well. And that's really what I like about that, is that you can save yourself considerable amount of money if you get the right toilet. So my favorite brand, and they are by no means a sponsor of the show or have ever been a sponsor of any of my shows, but Toto Toilets for me is one of those things that as a brand, they make by far the best toilet out there. You can buy it. It's $300 or $400 to get a really good one, and you've got something that's going to work and, more importantly, be easy to keep clean. Well, it looks like we got a call coming in here. Let's jump out to Nicholas in Tigard. Welcome to Around the House.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for calling in. What can I help you with?
I just bought a house recently, an older home, 1965, and it's in great shape. But one of the toilets is just leaking from where I don't know terms too well.
Okay.
But the bowl, not the bowl, but what holds the water in between the bowl.
Okay, so it's that tank to bowl seal between those two pieces?
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I got like a little kit to fix that from the local hardware store, and I took it apart and I realized that being a 50-year-old toilet, that all the gaskets and things are specific to the toilet, can't find it, and I realized all of the little seals are all completely falling apart.
Sure.
And so went on the internet, went to YouTube, went to a bunch of plumbing stores trying to find the proper tools to put it back together, and most everyone recommended you just need to buy a new toilet. I love the old toilet. It just looks cool, retro.
Yep.
The perfect shape, and I felt bad just getting rid of it. But I don't see any way. Do you have any recommendations?
That's a tough one. And, I love it. And this is where you run into with some of the vintage stuff. Sometimes you'll walk into a bathroom and it'll be all turquoise fixtures, or it'll be all buttercream or pink or something like that. Yeah. And it's like, oh man, I'd love to save those. But sometimes it's tough that you just really can't save those when you can't find the parts to repair them. And it doesn't take much for those things to leak in some of those spaces. And sometimes the universal pieces just don't work. And that's what you run into. But like I was just saying, when you perfectly timed calling in here, is that I would just go get a good one and throw a good one in there. And there are some different styles out there. You can get, if you've got that kind of 60s retro look, there are certain toilets that you can get, especially when you get into the more specialty stuff, like the Toto brand, for instance. And you're in Tigard, you can roll right over there to George Moreland, because they're a big Toto dealer here in the Portland area, and they've got some really cool stuff in there. And I might take a look down at that Tigard store there and take a peek at it, because you might find something that works. And I tell you what, you can save a ton of money. Instead of having that 3.5 gallon flush, Now you're doing
Exactly.
a gallon flush, and you'll notice on your water bill when you change toilets out like that, you'll make a difference.
Cool. I'll definitely. You have just given me permission to quit on looking for the part and move forward. So thank you.
And here's the cool thing when you're looking at Toto specifically that I like about Toto is that they've got, instead of just being a regular porcelain piece, they've got a coating like I think they call it Santa Gloss, or that's the old name for it. They've got a new name for it now, but they put a secondary coating on it that makes it super easy to clean the toilet. So it makes it so it's basically a non-stick bowl on the inside. So it's easy to keep clean as well, and who doesn't want that?
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
So
Thank you very much.
all right, man. Thanks for listening, and good luck on that toilet project today. Well, that's a cool one right there. That, it's great timing on calls like this. Thank you guys for calling in. 877-733-1011. That's 877-733-1011. These things can save you a ton of money, and especially if you live over here. I mean, in the eastern side of the state, your water bill's a little more reasonable than they are on this side of the state. But here in Portland, it's liquid gold coming out of the faucet there. So you really want to save some money with that. And I mean, if it gets the job done, it gets the job done. I remember I first started designing when they put the 1.6 gallon flush rule into effect. It was horrible. Those things worked horribly. And you would sit there and have to flush something 2 or 3 times to get it to work correctly. And what that was that they had mandated the water standards before they really had designed the technology to do it. Because if you use enough water, who cares? And I've heard, though, that sometimes you're running into, and this is where you got to be a little bit careful, if you save too much water in your house, if you've got a very, very old house, or you've got a basement, for instance, you've got that old sewer system, you might need to go with maybe a 1.25 or stick back with the 1.6 gallon, because if you've got a degraded drain system, that water will help it get down the line there, and you'll actually be able to help it, move it along, basically. Not to get gross, but you need the water for that to flow through. And so having the right toilet's good, but if you can go through and save that to a 1 gallon flush or even the 1.2 gallon flush, it's going to save you a ton of money. And we need to save those resources around here anyway. Why not flush it away? But there's things you can do too with toilets. Make sure that when you're replacing them, take a look to make sure you don't have breaks around the ring down there. Make sure that it's actually getting fastened down correctly, because anytime they're loose, the chance of you breaking these things is high. And you don't want to break them, because that's why you got to be very careful bolting everything down, because when you're bolting these things down, just do it hand tight. Be gentle. Be careful. Otherwise, you're going to go out and buy another toilet. We come back, Jake and PDX, hold on here. I'm going to be off to you when we get back just as soon as Around the House returns.
Where we keep what we can't say.
Welcome back to Around the House with Eric G. I want to get all your calls today, and they are coming in hot right now at 877-733-1011. That's 877-733-1011. And make sure you like our Facebook page, Around the House with Eric G. Jump over there and like it, because we're trying to get more people, like everybody else is, on their Facebook page. But this show goes all week long. Well, let's jump over here to Jake at Portland. You've been patiently waiting. Welcome to Around the House.
Hey, Eric. So I'm a drain technician for a local company in the area here, a small mom and pop shop.
Nice. Go ahead and name it. Which one is it, man?
Drain Away Rooter.
Cool.
We specialize in drain cleaning and video inspection and all that fun stuff. But I hope the guys listening with that older toilet, they can save it. It's just a matter of having a professional come out and take care of it. Trying to do it on his own, he's probably going to mess it up. But anyways, when you change over to these from these older toilets to these newer toilets, one of the issues is the old cast iron pipes and terracotta pipes and concrete pipes.
Yep.
The water flow doesn't roll down or push the objects down line like the older toilets did. So one of my recommendations when replacing those toilets is to have a camera go down the sewer main from the pulled toilet and inspect the line, because if there's any bellies, sag joints or anything like that, they're going to be flooding out their house. Sometimes they have to replace those pipes with new ABS and PVC pipes to accommodate the new toilets.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's what we were talking a little bit about, and I completely agree with you, because 3.5 gallon flush sends a lot of product down a very uneven pipe fairly easy, because you got enough water that's just getting it downhill, and when you cut that water back, it can create its own problems.
Correct, and I appreciate you tackling this issue. A lot of people, when they're selling their houses or buying houses, have video inspections done of the sewer mains and whatnot. And I recommend, if people are looking to sell their house, be proactive and have their have a home inspection before they put it on the market, so they can nip things in the bud and have the sewer line video inspected before they put it on the market as well, because it's a horrible feeling to get hit blindsided with you got a $10,000 or $6,000 sewer line replacement that needs to happen in order to sell the house. Yeah,
and I also recommend as well jumping in and doing those storm drains from the gutters as well, and have those scoped to make sure that you're not backing water up into basements and crawl spaces as well. I think that's a great thing to scope and make sure that's working correctly, because it's the same kind of thing that can do just as much damage.
Not a problem. Hey, do you mind if I throw out the phone number for our company?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead. You guys sound like you're on the ball. I like it.
503-650-8200. Drainaway Rooter. I appreciate it, Eric.
Cool, buddy. And send me an email at ath@kxl.com. I'd love to stay in touch with you. I appreciate the help today.
Thank you, sir.
Cool, man. Bye. Thanks. Hey, well, let's jump out here to, we've got Don. Welcome to Around the House.
Hello, thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, what can I help you with?
I got an 11-year-old house, and it is PVC pipe everywhere. Had all those. I have frequent battles, though. The toilets. There's 3 bathrooms in the house, and it seems like every 10 months I got to replace all the insides, the flush valves. I've been using Fluid Masters. Stuff just fails. Is there anything? For love or money, can you buy good quality components inside a flush tank? I got 1.6 gallon crane toilets.
Well, here's the problem: is you might have 2 things going on here. What I would do is I would probably call a water treatment company, and I can get you lined up with somebody. Email me at ath@kxl.com. I would be curious to see what kind of water you have coming in there. If you've got minerals that are building up or something like that, that's taking out your flush valves.
There is mineral. There is an issue there.
So that might be probably a better thing to start to think about taking care of, because if that's going to do it to your flush valves, it's going to do it to your faucets, it's going to do those other things, and it might be better health for your overall plumbing system to see if you can take out some of those minerals out of there that are actually building up, because I think you might run into, especially when you've got like the crane toilets and you're just putting the Fluid Masters in there without upgrading to maybe a Toto system or one of the other different systems they have for flush valves out there, that might be a way to take care of that problem for you, is to actually try to see if you can take care of the water issues as well as getting those toilets upgraded.
So maybe a honking filter on the water main?
Yeah, what I would do is I would call, and I'll send you, I know somebody that, I'm not going to give them out on air here, but they will actually come out and test your water for free, and they can actually get you set up, and they'll come out and do water tests and tell you what you have in there. So that way you know what you're taking out, because I'm not a big fan of just throwing a filter at it, because there's stuff you want in your water, there's stuff you don't want in your water. So I like to make a plan based off of a lab test telling you what's in the water and what's not.
Right on.
So,
all right, well, thank you. I'll shoot you.
Sounds good, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. Let's run out here to Johnny in Vancouver, welcome to Around the House.
Hey, how's it going, Eric G?
Good, man. What can I help you with?
All right, well, we'll start out with last July, we bought a house.
Okay.
It's built in 95.
Okay.
And the first couple of months, we either didn't notice it or it wasn't occurring. I'm pretty sure it wasn't occurring. But now, every time somebody's taking a shower and somebody uses cold water, the hot water immediately turns cold.
Yep.
Every single time. And no matter if it's just running the faucet or if it's flushing the toilet. How do I go about figuring out what's causing this?
Well, you know, what I like to do with showers especially is I change out those valves and put what they call temperature balancing shower valves in there, because what those do is those shower valves will reduce the hot and cold water equally if you get somebody that's flushing a toilet or turning on water and giving you too much hot or cold water that way. So it'll actually reduce the flow equally so you don't get burned or the shot of cold water depending on what's happening.
Temperature balancing valves. Where do I get those at?
Go down to any home improvement store usually that has shower valves. You go to your big box stores or plumbing people. They will actually have that new valve to go in there, and that's actually in new homes. It's what the new ones are required to have. So it's a safety item for new construction. So if you built a new home, it's coming in that. And they weren't really prevalent back in the 90s. They were something fairly new back then. But if you put in one of the newer temperature balancing ones, man, that'll keep that from happening.
Am I going now? But is that an indication of a greater problem?
No, not necessarily. I mean, sometimes it's a flow issue. And what kind of pipe do you have in there?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Take a look. If you do have, you're mid-90s, so it's either going to be probably copper or some kind of plastic like CPVC. And in those cases, you shouldn't have anything, shouldn't have any flow issues out there. Unless you've got something jammed up someplace in the, the one thing you could do is shut the water off and flush that shower valve out really well and just kind of flush the lines out and make sure that you don't have any pieces of plastic or anything jammed up in there. Sometimes that can happen as well.
Okay. Next question. If I do change those shower valves to the temperature equalizing valves.
Yep.
Am I going to need soldering?
I don't know what kind of pipe you have in there, man. It could be something that you get in there, and you could use PEX stuff to take it the rest of the way. That's what a lot of guys are going to do. If you
I'm very familiar with PEX. I have sweated pipe before, but it's been a few years.
Yeah, you're going to have to open it up, take that plate off and the handle off, and see what you got out there, and that way we can see, what we're going to do. So that's the thing. A little bit of goes a long way as far as inspection on that. Well, we got to go out to break, Johnny. Thanks for calling in. I want to get all your calls at 877-733-1011 just as soon as Around the House returns. Welcome back to Around the House with Eric G. We've been talking home improvement. This segment Around the House is brought to you by Western Construction Systems. As a cracked or crumbling foundation killing your real estate deal, for a free inspection, contact Western Construction Systems. The integrity of your foundation is their specialty, guaranteed. CCB number 94222. Love all of our sponsors of the show. Thank you to Western Construction Systems as well as Adair Custom Homes. Both of those guys, I really appreciate you guys being a part of Around the House, because it's people like you that keep this show rocking and rolling. Well, I want to jump out here real quick to Suzanne, who has been waiting so patiently with a question. Thanks for calling Around the House.
Well, hello. Okay, so we bought a home out in the country, an old farmhouse, in July.
Okay.
And it has one bathroom, and we are wanting to add a second. And the discussion in the household is, will we have to put in a different drain field because of it, being a second bathroom, or would we have to do anything different because we have septic? That's
a great question, and it comes down to how your septic system is designed. If it was designed to be super small and it's old, it might only be designed for that. If they designed it using a newer design, they might have just stuck with something that's going to be more standard, that's going to handle a more typical 2 to 3 bathroom home. But you'd actually have to look at your design and have somebody actually take a peek at that and make sure that it's designed correctly to add that second bathroom.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot of times your county, like the health department or the people that are actually that license those septic systems, they should have, if it's recent, your septic design on file if you don't have it, because they track all those things, and so they should be able to help you with that as well.
Good. Well, that's helpful.
Yeah,
well, thank you.
And it's one of those things too, and just a little bit goes a long way with that design stuff. You can call up and ask those questions with them, and then you can kind of make a better decision with that, because you don't want to overload that thing. But at the same time, now if you're just putting a second powder room in, and you've got, I'll be honest, if you've got, there's a lot of load difference when we were talking toilets between a 3.5 gallon and a 1 gallon toilet. So, if you're adding another bathroom, but you're reducing the water by using low flow toilets, that's the discussion that I would have with them in that design.
Oh, good thought. Yes. Well, great.
All right. Well, thanks.
Quite a bit.
Hey, thanks for listening to Around the House. I appreciate it. Well, that opens up some phone lines. We've been rocking today. Thanks, guys out there. 877-733-1011. We're going to keep Donovan busy out there. We've been watching him. He's been looking like a spider out there with phones in his hand. I love it. 877-733-1011. Because we've been talking plumbing today, and I can tell we hit a little bit of a nerve, which I love. So we were talking toilets before, and I wanted to just wrap up a couple little comments about this, because, we just were talking about that 1 gallon flush, and then we had our great caller in about some of those things. And just want to wrap the thought of toilets up here. You get what you pay for with these things. And when you do that, a little bit of money goes a long ways. And for what it costs to have a plumber come out and repair something, if you go out and spend the lowest dollar and put a $79 toilet in there, and it's not designed well, it doesn't work well, and you got to call a plumber out twice, you would have been so much better buying the right one to start with, and then have it work correctly through the whole thing. Now, and we're going to talk next week about this. We're going to have fun next week, so I'm going to bring in a real estate professional. So I've got, it's going to be a lot of fun, actually. So I've got Cindy coming in next week from John L. Scott, and we're going to be talking about a lot of things. And I'm talking about just getting your house ready to go up for sale. What are the problems you see out there? And what are those gotchas? We'll be talking about some of this plumbing stuff because it's a big deal. And I want to get everybody dialed in on that. And just like we talked about earlier, we want to get that. We got a lot of calls coming in here. Thanks, guys. 877-733-1011. And, of course, this is just hour one here that we're working with. And these calls are going to go into hour two, I can tell. But when you're thinking about plumbing, and I want to talk about buying the right faucet, which we're going to go into next. But let's go out to Marty here real quick and get a couple of these calls in. Welcome to Around the House, Marty.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for taking the call.
No problem. What can I help you with?
I'm calling because we just went through a major remodel due to a water leak in our instant hot water in our home.
Oh, no.
And now the insurance is wanting to cancel our home insurance, but they're saying that they would possibly keep us on if we could install a water shut-off system, automatic, where when we're not home or around, if there was water leaking from somewhere in the home, it would shut it off. And I'm wondering, are you aware of anything like that on the market?
There are some things out there that are more advanced water leak detection units that'll do that. And that's just designed for those kind of things. Let me do this. Why don't you send me an email at ath@kxl.com, but I'll be honest, I would sit there and just turn around and find another insurance company just as soon as Around the House returns.
Hey,
Hey everyone, it's Eric G from Around the House. I'm teaming up with Cam Anderson, the epoxy live edge master from Blacktail Studio, for his biggest project yet, a full home remodeling on his stunning Blacktail Ranch. We're talking about this charming but dated farmhouse, from lead paint chic to a modern functional dream home. Structural fixes, smart layouts, custom woodworking flair, real budgets, hiccups, pro tips, all documented step by step. If you're a Blacktail fan or love epic renovations, this is your series. Head to my YouTube channel right now, search Around the House Eric G, subscribe, and check out the Blacktail Ranch playlist. Cam's intro video is live, and a fresh episode will be dropping very soon. Don't miss this transformation and subscribe today.